Okay. All right. So, Tiffany, you just interpreted for the American Heart Association thing, and you had no prep for that, right? Or did you have a little? None.
Well, I went and asked her kind of what she was going to be talking about, and she just said, you know, that the main focus was going to be like on the different animals, and each animal was going to have a session, and then we kind of prepped with the kids about their skit.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, what I saw, it seemed to all come together well.
Yes.
How did you feel up there, and what were some of the things that you felt went well?
I felt good about the interpretation part. Now, when some of the kids in the audience had a question, it was hard to see because, you know, the lights are bright. They had the stage lights on. So I was strained. I really couldn't see. But as far as the interpretation part, I think that part went good. And when she played the video, it was kind of hard, you know, when it was talking about, well, he's 5'10", it was kind of hard to hear that part. Of it, but you were there and you fed me, so we got through it.
Yeah. And then I noticed also when it got funny with the audience, like I decided to do a couple things to help out. Did you notice that? Like, because I don't know if you saw me saying copy sign, because it's always tricky when you're in an audience like that with one interpreter on the stage and they're signing the question. Really, it's better if we had two because somebody needs to voice the question for the
because I was trying
presenter.
to look and trying to scan the audience, and then she was talking, but I was still trying to scan the audience to see if somebody had a question as well.
Yeah, but then what about all the deaf people in the audience? Like, because if the student's just sitting there signing, you know, and you're voicing, but then all the deaf people don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I was going, and I started to see looks. That's why I said try. But it's hard to copy, sign, and voice at the same time. That's why. But I was just thinking through spontaneously, what could we do to fix that, right? So that's one option: is the interpreter can copy, sign, can voice it first, and then copy sign.
Okay.
If you can do it at the same time, or maybe just copy, sign it, and then voice, or sometimes same time. But it's not. That's not the best. You know, that's like we're pitching.
Yeah.
Really, as a school, we've tried to get it where the kids will come up and sign their question in front of everybody so that we don't have to worry about copy signing.
And I didn't even
just
think
voice.
to try to copy until I see you tell me to copy the question. Because I was just voicing and everybody was looking around like, okay, well, what is she saying? You know?
So that's okay. So that's why I wanted to help you to think about in a multilingual audience like that. First of all, I just love it because boom, no prep, you got to just go for it, right? We didn't have time to set up all that. So it's fun to think about afterwards. So one thing you can do, well, what you should kind of always do is just keep in mind of all the deaf people in the audience, because really as the interpreter, you're being a cultural mediator, and anytime this is going on, your job is to make sure they know what's going on.
Yeah, then we had the different age group thing too. I was trying to make sure I didn't want it too complicated because we had more little ones than the big ones.
Right.
So if I did it more on the kid level, I know the older ones would, you know, they would get it. So I tried to match her register.
Well, and I thought you did that really well, actually. I noticed that you did that, especially with when she was talking and the video, they said, well, oh, for you 8-year-olds. So you're kind of like, okay, she's speaking on an 8-year-old level.
Yeah.
And I thought you did that really well. But at the same time, you keep in mind that there's deaf teachers in the audience who know medical terminology, or well, maybe not. They were really over all of our head with all that medical terminology. That's why I said, just say big word, big word, big word.
Right, because I was like, okay. And I couldn't really hear what they were saying to spell it, so...
But I thought you did a good job of that. You spelt the animals' names, which matched the little names on the card. Hi, Miss Betty.
Have you seen a flag?
No, I saw your
USA
email,
flag?
and I have not seen a flag ever.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's all right. The only thing that I thought of that could have added for the kids, well, like when she was talking about the animals, you spelled the names, which was good because the names were up there with the pictures. But then you could have added like the Mr. What was he, Tucker?
Tusky,
yeah, something like that. Because as a young elementary kid, seeing all that, that's not going to mean anything. But you could like take what does the tusk mean, or you could change something from the animal, you know, to give it a sign so that they go, oh yeah, wave to the elephant. Oh yeah, wave to the tiger. So when you're doing multi-ages like that, I think you want to just as you're thinking about the different levels, go boom, I can give you the name because, you know, a lot of the deaf adults can make that connection. and they might want to know the name of the specific animals.
Right.
But then to help the younger kids get involved too, add the sign or something like that. So that was the only thing I was thinking.
I was thinking, I did Rory, and I was like, well, should I do? I didn't know whether I needed to do that or not. So I just kind of spelled the name because I know they had the picture.
Yeah.
And that was another reason I did, because they had the picture on the stream.
Right.
So I just kind of spelled the name and then kind of pointed to the stream, and then they saw what animal too.
Yeah.
So still, it'll be best to just incorporate.
No. I think what you did was good, but then if you can just add the sign for the kids, because she was so repetitive with it. And no, I thought what you did was excellent.
Because instead of kept spelling the name, I could have just did the animal sign.
Right. Especially like at the first time, do the name, get the picture.
Yeah.
But then because then we're trying to identify with the animals that are right on the stage there. And plus the lion, nobody could tell if it was a lion or not. We're like, is that really a lion? Is that a rat? Did you see Brad at the end?
He was like, what is
that? Is this a bear?
I saw that.
So anyway, that's just a funny thing because the costume wasn't all that great.
Right.
But that might could have helped if you said Rory the lion each time. Even Brad as the principal could go, oh, that's supposed to be the lion.
Okay.
And then he could just say goodbye to the lion, but still he was like, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, I got
So, and that's really a unique thing for interpreting in an elementary situation when you have deaf adults in the room too.
Yeah.
You just kind of want to be thinking, give them all the information to make the connections themselves.
Right.
So no, I thought you did a great job, just especially when they get repetitive like that, you can think, how can I add this to make it more clear for the little kiddos? Because you can assume that the deaf adults got it the first time. You know what I mean? So then second or third time, and she's really trying to engage the kids, like, okay, that kind of thing. So just something to add for that. And that makes it more fun because her intent with the whole presentation was what? What would you say her intent was?
To get the students drawn in so that they can learn and that they can go out and share their information with other people.
So it's kind of twofold. She was trying to get excitement built up and and that's where in creating the name signs and that and all that could help with the excitement. Then the other point is actually getting information out about the heart and that kind of thing.
And from some of the questions, like DJ question, you can kind of see that they were picking it up.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's how you know. That's your best feedback that communication happened. And there again, if you see the kids excited when they're supposed to be excited, and then they have information relevant. So let's go back and think more about the whole how to handle people signing the question and voicing. What do you think is the best setup for that? We didn't have any time for setup, so we were kind of pitch hitting at the end. But if we did have time to set up, what do you think could have helped?
Maybe since I was standing on stage, I could have copied the question, and then maybe if we had another interpreter, they could have been the person to voice it. Since I was standing up and everybody could see me, that would have been the best way to handle it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good solution. That way you're just a consistent signer, especially because the spotlight situation. So it didn't work so well when you went and moved around because you came out of the spotlight. That's why I was like, you go back up on the spotlight, remember? Because that was the other thing, too. Really, we could have used three interpreters.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I forgot the little ones down here. And I know I had prepped with them, and I didn't,
Right, but at the same time, at one point, they were kind of missing the information because you're signing behind them. But I went ahead, I didn't know if you noticed, I started signing it, too, especially for Reagan and some of the older kids who were like,
paying attention.
Yeah, and a lot of those kids happen to be hard of hearing, where I think they were catching a lot auditorily. But anyway, so I just went ahead and started doing that. I mean, because I was like, this is multi things going on.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right. Just having like, okay, you be the voicer, and then again, normally if we had good setup for that, we'd have a microphone on and ready. So then the one interpreter can just hold the microphone.
Right.
And
then we have the signer.
And then, so what's another solution if you didn't have that second interpreter? What's another idea of how you could have solved that?
I could have signed the question and then after that, then voice what was said.
Okay, good. Let's just think outside the box. Try to think of another way you can handle it in terms of cultural mediation, even not so much of interpreting, but like, okay, how could I manage this situation like culturally? What's something else you could have done? And some people would say, nah, this like where I'm going in my mind would be like, oh, that's a little bit above the interpreter role. But if you were a staff interpreter here, and we had set up the practice as a school that you come up and ask your question in the front,
Okay.
you could, as the interpreter, remind the kids, because you would first of all know this already since you've been here and you've gone over it, and say, come up here, sign, we can't
So
see you,
everybody-
or remind them
Okay.
they can't see you, deaf can't see you. So that way you're not trying to do 5 different jobs
Right.
at once, where you
Okay.
copy, sign, and voicing. You can just remind them, come on up where so everyone can see you.
Okay.
Or there's even more, because I like options are good. You know that we've got 8 hearing teachers in the room. You could also
Yeah.
ask anybody willing to copy sign, because Jade came
I
up.
saw her.
Yeah. And so that's one thing I think, again, is unique about working in this environment like this, where everybody does know sign,
Mhm.
and you
can
become a
kinda
part of that
pool.
team.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have good relationships with everybody, and they can all see going, okay, this one interpreter up there trying to do 3 different
Yeah, 'cause
jobs.
I saw her.
And we're going to naturally kind of fill in, like
Mhm.
I started trying to voice and I started copying for them. Plus I was there to feed you and support you. But then Jade came up because she saw that Reagan was missing some of the information
Right.
too. So that's something that you can always just think of. I've got a team here.
Mhm.
And how can I, if a situation gets to be like it's out of control, it's okay to just go, could you hold on one moment? We want to clarify the interpreting process or
Okay.
something. It's okay. And just go, somebody, can you come copy sign? Or Cheryl, you voice, get the microphone. That kind of thing. Like take a break of the whole procedure just
Okay.
to make sure it goes smooth. And they go, okay, thank you very much. We're good.
Yeah.
Because then everybody's going to go, oh, thank God, because I couldn't see what was going on over here.
Yeah,
And it
'cause I
was a
thought
hot
she
mess.
was- yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay to do that, but you want to do it with tact.
Mhm.
You want to do it with respect to everybody. And really you kind of, that's more of a cultural mediator role,
Okay.
and so you do it sensitively where you're respecting both cultures, but at the same time, if it starts to get like
Yeah.
too much missing going on, it's okay to just go, wait, could we pause for a minute? We want to clarify the interpreting process, or we
Okay.
want to get something straight with interpreters. And then like you could see me like, what if I was on my phone back there being, but you'd be like, Cheryl, come help me.
Yeah.
Or something, or Jade, like if Jade came up, or that kind of thing. I really think how it was handled was great.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking of more things, and this was
In
low
case.
key, and it was fun with animals, so it was not really any pressure. But if it's ever in a situation where it's like some serious information going on,
Right.
and
You don't
these
want
kids
them
are going, or
missing it.
these adults are going to get tested on it,
Yeah.
or something more serious,
You wanna make
it's
sure
okay
they
to hold the process to
Okay.
make sure, and just always make sure you're telling the deaf people though what you're doing. Like, hold on, we need a copy signer, because the deaf people will come up and copy sign too. Doesn't it could be a CDI in training.
Right.
We have, and often that'll happen where someone will just be willing to do it, or on the spot going, oh, someone, and we sign this sometimes for copy signing.
Okay.
Yeah, to someone who would just come up and copy sign the stuff
The
going on. It
questions.
doesn't even have to be a hearing person.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, good things. What else? Was there anything that you felt like was a struggle for you, that was hard while you were up there, or?
The only thing was trying to see out in the audience, because I know some of the students had questions and I really couldn't see, and I was
Yeah.
trying like,
Yeah.
I can't see you, and I was trying not to just be like, I can't see you.
Right.
I wanted to tell them come up because I couldn't see,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
but you took over and you
Yeah.
got the questions. And,
Yeah, but that was another option though, like I was
Yeah.
saying, because I kind of recognized we could have used, we needed a voice interpreter at that point. But to say, I can't see you, come on up, it's an
Okay.
okay thing to do. Especially you're not being like all bossy and having an attitude, but you're like, whoa, I can't see you. The most
'cause
important
those
thing
lights
is,
were, and that was
Yeah.
basically the only thing I felt struggle with.
Good. I thought of one thing as I was watching you, just as for interpreting. Are we doing okay on time? We're almost done. In terms of like putting out things when there's multiple things going on, different ways that you can do it. Like you can shift. Like if they're talking about, well, the elephant says this and the lion says this. You can do the
Mind
role
shift.
shifting. What are some other options when you have lots of things, like a list? If they're going to go through a list.
I did this a couple of times, as far as listing, or I can show it this way, like we're talking about this, now we're talking about this. Those are usually the only two ways I do it.
Yeah, no, those are the most common ways.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it with the video because there was conversation going on, and they were talking about the sister was saying he
Yeah.
has this, and we were kind of missing. I say
'Cause I
we
couldn't
because I
hear.
was missing it too.
That's what, I couldn't hear what
Yeah.
she was saying. I
Right.
was like,
And
and I
that's
tried to keep it moving,
Yeah,
but it was
right.
hard to understand what she was saying.
Yeah, it was, and so that's when I thought of, like, what you can do in that situation. We're missing the details, and not sure really that the details were really the point, and you can't
Right.
stop a video and go, hold on, what was that? You know what I mean? And
Rewind
she
it
had
back.
kind of already warned there's going to be some big medical
words,
terms.
right?
So you can just get the gist of it at that point and say, like, Well, my brother, he has heart sickness, many, boom, 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 boom. And you can just say, because already you've like missed the first two, right? Because she was going too fast.
Yeah.
There were 3, maybe 4, I can't remember. Yeah.
I just went on, did this because I couldn't, I couldn't get them wrong.
And if you can, you could try to this and get as much as you can out, because that's the equivalent of what they're hearing. Mitochondria something something. You could do the mitochondria brrr, and then
I think I did.
yeah. And then, and if you miss one completely, just keep going down, and or
I
no
didn't
big word.
Just,
it's a big
I
word.
I didn't freeze up. I just kept it moving.
Yeah.
So.
No, I thought you handled it well. It's just always good to think through more options, of how to get that information out. All right, I can't think of anything else. I thought you did a good job, especially cold.
Thank you.
I was like, look at her, girl. She's not even nervous.
So what do you be talking about? I only get nervous when it comes to voicing. Like, me.
I know.
I can do it. It's just, I don't know.